Okay, good morning class, welcome back. Today we shall be doing the third topic from the chapter Basic Concepts in Sociology. Alright, so the topic for today is problems of urban society and the problems of rural society. Now as we are going through, you'll come to know that the problems that we are going to discuss today is similar to some of the characteristics that we've already done for the urban and rural society. Alright, okay. So let's begin. Now the problems of urban society. What is one of the main problems of the urban society? It is population, alright, or we can also say overpopulation. So when we were doing characteristics of urban society, I told you that people from most of the rural areas are migrating towards the urban areas in search of jobs. Alright, so because of this, it is leading to overcrowding of the towns and cities, and it is also leading to creating of slum areas. Alright, because there is overcrowding, there is a problem of housing. That means there is not enough houses available for the people to live in. So because of this problem, alright, because of the problem of over migration, that is excess of immigration of people from the rural areas to the urban areas, it causes overcrowding. Now see, it's like a sequence, okay? If you look at the problems, I'll be doing like a sequence. So because of overcrowding, that means the resources that the people are using is also more, it increases, alright? So there is a problem of pollution. So what happens when there are more people in the urban areas? That means there are more number of houses, alright? So because there are more number of people, people are available, so there are more number of industries, so that they can cater to these unemployment problem. Alright, now the sanitation facility, alright, it affects the sanitation facility like disposal of garbages, disposal of waste. Because of the increase in population, the amount of garbage that it produces, alright, the amount of garbage that the urban area produces also increases, which in turn causes pollution at different levels. Now because of increase in population, that means there are more number of vehicles being used, alright, so it increases. Now more number of vehicles means the carbon dioxide, the harmful gases coming out from the vehicles also increases, and it causes air pollution. Alright, now because there are more number of people, the use of plastics also increases in different forms. So when there is an increase in the use of plastics, it also causes disposal problems. So people do not know, alright, where you're supposed to dispose of your garbage. Now the other one, the third one, is crime rate. Now, when compared to the rural areas, the crime rate is extremely high in the urban areas. Why? Is because the level of stress, the level of competition in the urban areas is extremely high. So when there is a high rate of competition, it is very, very expensive in the urban areas, and it is not everybody will not be able to find a proper job where they are paid adequately to increase the standard of living. Now because of this stress, because of this competition, what happens is people start indulging in illegal activities and crimes. Okay. The fourth one is individualism. Alright. Now in the urban areas, there is something called nuclear family system. Now when people migrate from the rural areas to the urban areas, I told you because of the increasing expenses, now sometimes they do not have a job, alright, they are looking for a job. So the only people that they can take along is either the husband and wife and the kids. Alright, they leave their other family members like their parents, their brothers and sisters, they leave them back in the rural areas. Alright, now because of this individualism, alright, because of this system of individualism, people are only thinking about themselves. They do not think about somebody else because they are living in a nuclear family system. Then they are only thinking about themselves, because the main motive of going to the urban areas is to earn money. All right, now they do not make friends easily. All right, socialization is extremely less. All right, the level of socialization is extremely low, and even if you socialize, that means even if you go out with your friends, those friends are your colleagues. Okay, so that level of intimacy, that level of closeness is not very much. Okay, now the other one is expenses. Now we've already explained in the first topic expenses. Now because of the increasing expenses in the urban areas, many families coming or migrating from the rural areas will not be able to find an adequate job which pays them adequately. All right, so because of this, they will go and find places, or they will go and build houses in the slums, which is they do not have proper airing. The houses that they built is also kacha houses. All right, those houses built by disposed things like rucksacks, like tins which have been, or they make those clothes or rags. All right, the walls are made up of rags. It is made up of tins which have been disposed by somebody else. They do not have proper toilets. They do not have proper electricity, no drinking clean water. All right, so all these causes a problem to their health. Okay, the other one is economic and social disparity. Now because of the differences in the style of living, the people coming from the rural areas are poor, and people who are born and brought up in the urban areas, they belong to a different standard. And most of them, all right, most of them who have been living for generations in the cities have already acquired or achieved a standard of living which is different from those people flocking from the rural areas. So there is a difference. It's like the haves and the haves not. In the rural area you have social disparity. That means you have based on caste system. All right, but in the urban areas there is something called class system. The rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer. Now how there is a difference in economic status is because some people are earning very high. All right, some have salaries in lakhs and some have salaries in thousands only. So because of this disparity, the rich is becoming richer and the poor is becoming poorer, and these two groups are unable to mingle or mix up with each other. That is why there is a huge gap between the haves and the haves not. All right, okay. Now the other one is commercialization of all the facilities, like schools, like temples, like hospitals. Now what do you mean by commercialization? Commercializing, whenever anything is commercialized, that means people are only focusing on earning a profit. For example, I've given you an example of commercialization of education facilities, commercialization of hospitals, and commercialization of temples. So it means that, see, a temple is a place to pray to God. But nowadays what is happening is, in the temple, even when you have to go and enter the temples, you have to pay an entry fees. So just imagine, just to go and pray to God, you have different kind of lines. All right, to enter you pay entry fees, then again to go and pray to God you have different lines. If you pay 4,000 rupees, you go right in front. All right, if you pay 50 rupees, then you go right at the back, you join the longer line. All right, so those people, now just imagine, to pray to God also, those people who have money go right in front, they pray 5 minutes and they come out. But those people who do not have money, they pay 50 rupees, they stand in the longest line, takes around the entire day to go and simply pray in the temple. So this also, people are focusing on earning money. Alright, so most of the people, because they do not want to go and stand in the hospitals also, it's the same thing. If you pay more, alright, if you go to the private hospitals, if you are paying more, then you go and meet the doctor directly. Alright, but if you do not have money, those people belonging to the lower section of the society, they do not have money, they go to the government hospitals. There also you don't, even after visiting several times, you do not meet the doctors. Alright, okay. So these are the 8 different problems of urban society. Now next we shall be doing the problems of the rural society. Now in this point also you will see there is a similarity between the characteristics and the problems also. Now the first one is unemployment. Now under the rural society, you know that the unemployment rate is extremely high. It means that jobs are easily not available in the rural areas. Now it is because that in the rural areas most of the jobs are agricultural based, and the money that you earn out of agricultural activity is not as much as you earn in the urban areas. Alright, so that is why there is a high rate of unemployment. Now the other reason why there is high rate of unemployment is, like I said, we focus on agricultural activities. Now agricultural activities excuse me, is also seasonal. Alright, just like the monsoon, the agricultural activity is also seasonal, and now a lot of people have started using machineries. Alright, technologies have started to take up the jobs of the individuals who were initially working in the fields. So now there is no jobs in the urban area, in the rural areas. So what do? All these people migrate to the urban areas, alright, in search of jobs. The other one is sanitation facilities. Now because people, alright, because in the rural areas roads are not easily available, alright. Now facilities cannot be brought easily to the rural areas. Now the people living in the rural areas also belong to the marginalized society, alright. They do not have enough money to build proper houses. So when they do not have money to build proper houses, obviously they will not have money to build a proper toilet for themselves. So what do? They go in the fields and defecate. Alright, okay. Now electricity. Now like I said, in the rural areas also only some parts of, now see, because this is the 21st century, most of the villages in India have electricity. But even though it is the 21st century, there are two sides of the same coin. Even though it is the 21st century, most of the villages, alright, most of the villages have still not received electricity. Now you know that now because of the lockdown, you have come to realize that electricity is one of the essential commodities that is required for you as students, because you need your laptops, your mobile phones, your tablets for studying. Now without electricity that is not possible. You will not be able to use all these gadgets. Alright, so electricity is still not available in most of the villages in India. Now medical facilities. Now in the rural areas we only have medical centers. We do not have hospitals. Alright, we have only medical centers or dispensaries where you get only medicines, sometimes not even a doctor, only nurses. Alright, only nurses, that also sometimes they are not registered. Alright, so there are only few medical centers in the rural areas. Now housing facility, you know that the houses that is in the rural area is of kacha material, and they will not be, if a storm occurs, then those houses will be blown away and people may also die. Okay, transport system. The transport facility available in the rural area is extremely less. There are less number of vehicles. The roads are also kacha. That is why the connectivity from the rural areas to the urban area is also less. That means there are not many vehicles plying from the rural areas to the urban areas. Now the next one and the last one, that is number 8, is caste system. Now in the urban areas, I told you there is a system called class system. That means there is a disparity between the rich and the poor. But in the rural areas, most of the people are poor. But what now, based on what is the disparity? Alright, based on what? Now the disparity in the rural area is based on the caste system. Now people belonging to the Brahmin group or the Brahmin caste are not allowed to mingle or mix up with those people belonging to the lower caste. Alright, now you know that there are different castes, and these different castes are not allowed to mingle or mix up with each other. Now the people belonging to the lower sections of the society, especially the Vaishyas and the Sudras. These people are not allowed to enter temples where the higher caste go. They are not allowed to send their children to schools where the higher caste people send. They are not allowed to use the road. They are not allowed to use the public transport where the higher caste use. Alright, so these are the different problems of the urban and rural society. So if you see, now these are very easy. If you don't have to mug up these. In your exams, if I give you the problems of urban and society, write down the problems of urban and rural society. You can write on your own also. Please give answers based on your own understanding. You do not have to mug up these only. Alright, okay, thank you.